You have such good input, and all I have on my sheet is I wrote, I wouldn't want to rap battle Inuyasha. That's what I'm contributing to this podcast.
We have to cut that part out. That was a spoiler. My name's Mackenzie.
And I'm Kaitlen.
And this is Kikyo's Unforgiving Anime Podcast.
Woo! Meow.
We are talking about Inuyasha Season 1 today. Part 3 of a 3-episode series that we're releasing about Inuyasha. And we're going to dive into the last episode that we left off on in the previous video. All of them are linked and displayed on our screen. Please subscribe, like, and share, and comment, please. We want your feedback, and we try to ask for it a lot, but we're new at this, so...
And watch part 1 and 2.
Please.
Before you watch part 3, because what are you doing?
So, let's jump right in. The next episode we are going to talk about today is episode 11, The No Mask. Tell us about it.
It's giving No Face from Spirited Away.
Isn't it?
I said, did No Face get inspired by the No Mask? And it was like something I just saw on Google that the Ghibli creator said that he was not inspired by anything like external on No Face. I was like, there's got to be some. They're lying, pretty much, is what I think. I think that there was definitely inspiration taken from the No Mask.
After we do our Ghibli series, stay tuned, hit subscribe, because we're going to do Ghibli. I think we're going to have a lot to say, because literally what you just said. How do you say no? And again, we have to do our research before we make more biased opinions, but how do you say that No Face is not based off of the No Mask?
The similarities are striking.
Ghibli? I don't know.
I wonder when Spirited Away came out. Who came out with it first?
Do you remember when Inuyasha came out?
1996.
2000. And
the
then
manga.
2000. The manga, true. But Spirited Away wasn't a manga. 2003.
2003.
It came out 3 years after Inuyasha. 1 year after Inuyasha was in America. I don't know. It could be a coincidence. Where are we next? Oh, so the No Mask is in the real world.
And it attacks Grandpa.
Mm-hmm. And
Sad.
Grandpa ends up in the hospital.
Sad.
And then it attacks Kagome and Soda. Right? And
sets the thing on fire. Their house,
yes.
their shrine on fire.
Yep.
And Kagome's got the little jar of jewel shards in her window.
Yeah. And that's what it's going for.
Yeah.
And then Inuyasha arrives, of course, and saves them all. But the No Mask was awoken in the overworld, or the modern day, because she had the jewel shards. So, remember episode 2 was named Seekers of the Sacred Jewel? Literally this whole
They're all
story.
seeking it.
Everyone will.
Everyone.
Humans, monsters, demons.
They want it.
Everyone.
Episode 12, Soul Piper. More filler.
I barely remember this episode.
This one I did not like. I liked the design for the Soul Piper.
Wait, the little girl.
It was giving Pied Piper.
Wait.
It was filler, and I really didn't like it. I didn't think it was... I think that whole episode could have been deleted.
When I was a kid, I cried.
Well, the Soul Piper is scary looking, and it's about a little girl who burned alive in her house. Her mom forgot her in the house. She died on fire. It was
scary.
It was just great. It was a little adventure that we went on, but it was just kind of
I fell asleep during it this time around.
27 episodes in the first season. We could have probably scratched that one.
100%.
I thought the design was cool. I love,
agree.
Put your art out there, but that one I was just a little eh.
Yeah. Okay. What's episode 13?
Mystery of the New Moon. Oh, it's when he gets his black hair.
So there's spiders, and they attack this villager girl, and Inuyasha and Kagome save them, and she's pissed because she's like, "Get away from me, demon!" And it's Inuyasha, and then they say, "We're just trying to help you," and then they walk back to their place with her, where her grandpa is, or master, or father is, because he's a priest, and he ends up being this big spider, and all these spiders are attacking them, because originally Shippo and Kagome wanted to stay there, and Inuyasha didn't, because Inuyasha knew that it was the new moon. The spiders attack him, his hair turns black. Literally, as a kid watching this,
cinematic, where it's him with the spider webs, and then he puts his head back, and it goes it drapes off, and he's got black hair, and it's just doo-doo-doo. You know, he's beautiful.
I do know.
They're like, oh my gosh, they revealed him as a boy. He's a human boy.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I love that
super
episode.
Cool.
I literally can picture it in my head.
I remember
right now.
asking you. I was like, I saw a boy that had black hair, and I'm like, does Kikyo have like a male version of her? I thought his white hair was because he was old, but I see now that his white hair is because he's a demon. Yes. Not because he's old.
He's a dog demon. They're dog demons, just so you know, not wolf demons.
Oh, and during this time, too, around this episode 12-13 space, Kagome's having boy problems at school.
With
the popular boy. And he keeps bringing her stuff for her ailments because everybody's like, her grandpa keeps telling everybody she's got like these rashes or like bunions. So he's like, here's your, a cushion for your seat, Kagome. And he's being so sweet. He invites her out on a date. And poor Kagome is just like so busy thinking about Inuyasha. She just kind of like leaves this boy hanging.
She does.
She plan a date with him and then not show up or ditch?
No, she went to the date. And she actually left the date.
And then got pulled back into...
Because she ran back to check on Inuyasha. And that was when...
Oh, they were fighting.
Yeah,
and
that's
Shippo
like episode 20-ish.
Gets her through the wall.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
because
funny.
Because Shippo ran the jewel shard there. Okay, that's episode 14.
The new moon. This is when...
Urasue, that's
she
how they...
steals Kikyo's ashes from the village. Take not my sister's ashes.
That's what Katie says. Yeah. Dude, the shit she says is so good.
I love her quotes.
Literally.
Every time she talks, I'm like...
Make haste, children.
Every time I hear her voice...
Avert ye eyes.
I open my ears.
Funny.
So, this is when you learn that Kikyo was, like, they tell you that she was a priestess.
Yes.
And that's why she was special.
Yes. Man.
And that Urasue takes Kikyo's ashes back to her little lair and builds her a new body and tries to resurrect her.
She gives her like a milk bath.
And she tries to steal Kagome, like Kikyo out of Kagome, her soul, and put it into Kikyo.
She had to put Kagome in a milk bath as well.
And that's when you see the back and forth between Kikyo and Inuyasha, and you're starting to get little hints about their relationship because they're both so confused when they're talking to each other.
Well,
they're both
Kikyo's
like, what are you talking about?
At first, Kikyo's like pissed.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally
I came back to kill you.
Inuyasha!
I literally haven't passed on because I still am mad at you, bitch.
And he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And he's like in shock. He's like, Kikyo, like he barely even sees that
He's
Kagome.
Like this. He's like, Kikyo.
Literally. And Kagome's drowning in the bath still. And he doesn't care. And Kaede and Shippo are like, no.
He just wants a smoochy from Kikyo. Here, she wants to kill him. And neither of them know they think they betrayed each other.
Literally, all this fighting happens. And then somehow Kikyo gets like pushed to the edge of the cliff. And Inuyasha goes to grab her hand.
And she falls.
And her hand slips.
And she's still like, oh, he just wants me dead.
Literally,
girl,
she's like, let me go, Inuyasha.
Yeah, I love it when you do it so good. Inuyasha.
So he lets her slip, and like he's heartbroken. He's sad. Like you can see there, and like he just saw what we don't even know yet was his first love, and he now drops her to the bottom of the ravine. So he thinks that she died, and then we find out that she didn't die.
No, I mean she was made of clay to begin with, so
she was
kind of hard to. What is it? Cemetery dirt.
Yes.
And bones.
To be able to keep that soul in that dirt body.
What did she do? What does she do? She sucks the souls out of maidens and harbors them. She becomes a bad guy by trying to stick around to see if she can, like, sort shit out with Inuyasha. I feel bad because on one hand you're like, all right, lady, you're dead. He isn't going to be with a dead girl. And on the same hand, you're like, she got so done dirty.
She did.
By Naraku. Like, really bad. And the girlie deserves love. Honestly, I feel for her. I would be pissed if I was betrayed, like, thought I was betrayed. Then I can't die. Then I come back. Dude's with a girl who looks just like me, but she's alive. And now he doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. All my life was this tragic betrayal. And now he's telling me to move on? Girl, that's the last thing.
You're literally like, why did you bring me back from the dead? And you're the first person I see when I wake up. And you did all that shit.
That's the last thing I'm gonna do is move on.
Literally. Which is probably why she, like, at first is so upset and she's like, I'm set out to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You brought your reincarnated girlfriend
My soul.
with my Shikon Jewel. You're doing the same thing we were supposed to do? Oh my god. I'd be so mad.
Episode 15. Fave ep yet.
What happened?
Who slew my sis? It's called
She said sis?
Return of the Tragic Priestess Kikyo. Like, we kind of just covered episode 15 with our last chat about 14. You're just figuring out the drams.
Literally.
Like, Kikyo's back. You're finding about her tremendous betrayal in her former life. And they're just setting you up for her falling off the cliff.
That was it.
She falls off.
We literally talked about episode 15, just all that. So we can page that together there. Then we go to episode 16, which was The Mystical Hand of the Armorous Monk Moroku.
Moroku. He's sassy.
I like Moroku. I think he's a good character. I do think that he is essential to the plot because of the wind tunnel and how that coincides with Naraku, and we're gonna learn his full story. Like, if you think you learned anything about Moroku, no. Like, he's a very deep monk. He's got a lot to him. There's a lot going on there. I love how when he opens the wind tunnel, the bees come out when Naraku's around. Naraku cursed that on his grandfather, and every second born generation in his family will have that hole. Sad.
He is so funny. Literally hilarious.
I know. I
think he's got some great one-liners as well, where you just listen, you're like, what? What just left his mouth?
Literally.
How did they even think of that?
Kogome's trying to, like, save him, and he's like, you must put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like a medicine.
Yeah. He said, oh, I'm too weak to take it myself. You must pass it to me. Then she has Shippo do it. And he's like, no, Shippo, I don't want you to do it. Episode 17. And this is where things get kind of weird for me. I can't remember much of what happened. All I remember at that point just was being like, come on. It's jewel fragment, jewel fragment, jewel fragment, jewel fragment, jewel fragment, jewel fragment, jewel fragment.
It was the cursed ink painter who used the jewel fragment in his urn of paint that could paint demons on the scriptures, and he would open them up. He would paint really quick, and then he would throw out the scripture, and because it was jewel fragrant infused, you could say, the paintings came to life and became actual demons.
See, I think I spaced out at this point.
In episode 18, they are at they're at one of the inns.
Yeah.
And at the inn, they're getting all this food and they feel bad because they're saving this place from an ominous cloud, blah, 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 blah. And then they get on the road again, and that's when Sesshomaru jumps them. Inuyasha and Sesshomaru have a battle. When Naraku and Sesshomaru join forces, it's because Naraku is offering Sesshomaru an arm that can wield the Tetsaiga.
Yes. Yep.
And Sesshomaru's like, I don't need any help from peasants like thee.
I remember that like, now.
You do need my help, Sesshomaru.
And he takes it, and he uses it, and then they cut it off of him.
Yes.
But he does use it. He does wield the Tetsaiga for a little while.
Because all the arms that he's using, you can see in the beginning of the episode, they just keep falling off and dying after he does anything.
They keep finding him new ones.
Yes.
That's what they make Jockin do. He's like, go find me another arm, Jockin.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, master.
Literally. The reason we know Naraku's there, I thought, was because the bugs showed up.
Yeah,
because he gave a hive to Sesshomaru, and he said, use this when you think Inuyasha's gonna win. This could be his demise. And then they start fighting, and Inuyasha's doing good because he has the Tetsaiga, and then Sesshomaru throws the bees out because he told him, hey, there's a monk traveling with them. Like, make sure that you cover
Naraku
him, right?
was helping Sesshomaru with the bees. So then whenever you see the bees in the future episodes, you know Naraku's involved in some way because he obviously is the person who knows that the bees stop the 100%. Black hole hand.
And if you've noticed, as we get further into these episodes in this whole series, every time that they encounter someone and they throw the bees, Naraku has a play in it. We know that. But he's also not there. Anytime that they find Naraku, it's one of his, like, fucking, what would you call them? Clones? Mummies? Like,
dolls?
They use it's a doll, isn't it? Like a voodoo doll, almost. Yeah. And then...
Shadow clone jutsu.
Sashomaru... No. Wait. Sashomaru hurts Inuyasha. Like, Inuyasha's recovering, right? And Inuyasha pushes Kagome in the well and makes her go home.
Makes her go home. Yep. Episode 19.
Go home to your own time, Kagome.
And that's when she's having the boy problems.
Yeah.
Goes on the date. Goes back to the... Ditches the date. Goes to the well. Shippo
because Naraku resurrected yet another demon. It was the wolf demon of the forest, and I forget his exact name right now.
The one who spits out other wolves.
Yes.
He's like, and he barfs up more wolves.
Ma'am.
And then they're like gonna get beat, and Shippo's just begging for Kagome to come back so that they can find out where the Shikon Jewel Shard is in the wolf demon. Because she's the only one who can sense it or something like that. Yes. And then she comes back through the well, and now she's back in the feudal era, and her little, like, locked out moment is over. She was locked out for, like, 2 or 3 days.
I think it was 1 day. Not even. She couldn't even make it, like, 8 hours of being home. Because she went home, and then she went on a date right away, and then she left the date. I can't figure out the name of that wolf demon, sorry. Royakan! His name's Royakan.
Oh,
Give
the
me
wolf.
a second.
The wolf.
The wolf guardian. The wolf demon of hell, who is supposed to be the gentle guardian of the forest. Royakan. Royakan is supposed to be the guardian of the forest. The forest by the well.
Who Naraku flicks the jewel shard into his... He's like, no, please, no more. He doesn't want to be involved. And he flicks the jewel shard, and then he gets even bigger and crazier and goes back to attack them again. And puke up more wolves again. Mm-hmm. And then, does he die?
He did return to normal.
He did?
He did return to normal, and then Kagome and Inuyasha collected the jewel shard. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, perfect.
I felt bad for him.
In episode 20, we find out some of the history of Onigumo. Onigumo is the man, the warrior, whatever. He was like, I think he was a bandit of some sorts. He was a warrior, was a bandit. He did some bad things in his life. And he was injured, and Kikyo was taking care of him. They call it the Cave of Onigumo because he was in there for so long, and she tended to him. And he had a fiend for her. Like, Onigumo wanted Kikyo.
Eye roll.
And so what he did is he asked upon all these yokai and demons to feast upon him.
Idiot.
So
what a shit-idiot.
He could be... Onigumo is a shit-idiot.
That's not how you impress a lady who's trying to take care of you, is by possessing yourself with like 1,000 demons.
No, is it?
Just so you can be... He doesn't even say, he says, gift me with your mobility. Because he wants
to control it still. It's his body. He wants to, like, just have the demons to give him, like, new life.
He wants to walk and stuff to impress Kikyo. I'm like, boy, maybe you shouldn't assume that Kikyo's that shallow. Just be yourself. But no, he's like, oh, I'm going to personally take it upon myself to possess myself with 1,000 demons and then expect my crush, who's a priestess... who doesn't like demons, that I'm the right guy for her. Good luck. Dummy.
So he becomes
dummy,
the demon?
idiot, stupid.
Shit-idiot. He becomes a demon.
Right?
That night, he turns into Naraku. That night, he goes and he attacks Kikyo as Inuyasha.
That night?
Is
when that happens?
Mm-hmm.
What a little bitch. I
Naraku,
hate him. I hope he gets the worst.
Wait, oh my god, the best title ever. Like how you have titles in Diablo. Naraku, the narcissist.
Naraku, the narcissist. Literally. I love that.
He is. So we find out, like, the history here and the reason that... So he wanted also the Shikon Jewel. Not just Kikyo, but the Shikon Jewel. Because that's what everyone wants, right?
Hi, so I'm editing right now. I don't look too cute, but I just wanted to say I'm so sorry about the Tic Tacs. I've just been snacking on them through this whole video, and it's so annoying and embarrassing, so I won't do that again. Okay, bye.
He did fancy Kikyo, and that's why when he became a demon, he betrayed Kikyo so that he could have the Shikon Jewel. And then he also tricked Inuyasha because he, like... I'm pretty sure we find out in the future, but, like, Kikyo, like, leaves him at the cave to go to Inuyasha. Episode 21. So that's pretty much it. Like, it unveils Naraku's true identity. In the episode, they find Naraku in the woods at some point, and Inuyasha cuts his clothes off of him because Naraku releases a miasma, like, bomb. And it's this poisonous miasma, which you're going to find is, like, a trend with Naraku. And Inuyasha breaks it with the Tetsaiga, and, like, he has fresh air again, and he hits Naraku, and his clothes come off, and there is a spider on the back of his back, a tattoo.
I remember that. They said that will be his symbol now, is the spider.
Because they went back to Kaede, and she said 100%, because she was kind of, like, talking about it in episode 20. She was kind of just saying it could be Onigumo, blah, 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 this is a coincidence. And then all these battles happen, and in episode 21, she literally says, if he had a spider on his back, I have no doubt that thy is Naraku, whatever the fuck she said.
Thy beeth Naraku.
22. Oh, wicked smile, Kikyo's wandering soul. This is when we come across Kikyo in a village with, like, children. At first, I was feeling bad for her and resentful, but then she's taking souls to live, and I get that. When girls die, she uses their souls. I know that, like, the villagers want the souls to go to a resting place, but Kikyo wants to stay alive. The souls were just going to float into thin air. She can use them. But then she kills a monk as a priestess. And that needs to, like, click where that changes her now.
She's doing stuff that she wouldn't have done in life out of spite. And
the monk
it's
doubts
just
her.
like,
He says, get out of here, demon. She says, I'm not a demon. I'm here to stop the demons. He says, you are, I don't know what you are, whether you're not a demon, but I know you're not a priestess. You do not need to be on this earth anymore. Get out of here.
You need to go.
She says, kids, let's go back to the village. Turns around. Fucking awesome. Episode 23. Inuyasha is chasing after Kikyo with her soul collectors, and Kagome runs through this barrier and runs into Kikyo, and she literally makes her mute with her, like, touch of her fingers. It's like an iconic frame. I think I made a TikTok edit out of it, actually.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go revisit that.
And
check out our TikTok. We make some sick edits.
Unforgiving Kikyo on TikTok and Instagram.
Say hi. Say you came from the podcast / YouTube video.
Oh, shit. So she tricks Kagome, and she makes her shut up. She holds her against the tree. Inuyasha gets there, and Kikyo actually tries to kill Inuyasha.
And she makes Kagome invisible to Inuyasha.
She makes her watch.
So Inuyasha, is like trying to kiss up on Kikyo.
They did.
And Kagome's like, what the heck? I understand.
They kiss.
Kagome needs to be left alone after that.
Yeah, she literally, after they resolved it and Kagome walked away, she was like, I think we really need to talk, Inuyasha. So we enter Sango and the Demon Slayer village. The Demon Slayer village is called out to this local castle to exterminate these demons, the spider demon that keeps going there. And we find out that the prince is actually Naraku. And he says, this fortress and these and these peasants, these minions, they'll do for now. They'll hide me here. Naraku controls Sango's younger brother with a spider, right? During that happening, Naraku goes to their village, the Demon Slayer village, and he murders everyone there.
Everyone, but one.
But Sango.
And I love that she says, I'm a slayer. That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Yes, girl, you are. You slay,
yes,
girl.
Is.
I love her pink.
I love Sango. I really do.
Yeah,
both
I love her design.
Outfits are so cute.
And
Haraikots.
Kirara.
Kilala, yeah.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
Her little pet.
Oh
my god,
when
so
she morphs.
Cute.
Yeah.
And she's got the fangs and the little fire paws.
Yes.
Adorable.
So then Naraku tries to pit Sango against Inuyasha and tries to lie to Sango that Inuyasha was the one and his band of friends that slaughtered her whole village. So they all fight, and then Kagome and, like, the whole group make Sango aware that, no, they did not, in fact, kill the whole village. Like, they get back to the village after fighting with Naraku some more, and Sango actually sees that they buried all of her friends and family that lived in the village.
With flowers.
Episode 26, Secret of the Jewel of Four Souls revealed. So she decides to say, you know what, let me show you this cave. and it's the cave that the Shikon Jewel was made in. And there's a barrier. The group tried to go there before they met Sango while they were burying all of these people from the village, and they couldn't get in because of the barrier. And then they're with Sango, and she's like, come on, let's go through. And they're like, no, I think her name's Midoriko. She says Midoriko is the human that was fighting off these 4 demons, and that's what fused and made the Shikon Jewel. And the 4 demons, they were standing for wisdom, friendship, love, and courage.
Correct.
And
good memory.
Yes. And
the Naohai.
Yep. She says, let's enter the barrier. And they're like, no, they won't let us. And she's like, no, let's try it. And then Miyoga, or I think it was Inuyasha that made a comment, and then Miyoga was left outside. It's about your intention.
He gets zapped. He said, here I come.
When you're there to protect humans and you're there to protect the Shikon no Tama, then Midoriko will let you in.
Midoriko is the ancient priestess.
Yeah.
Who's in the cave, frozen in a stalagmite with the demons, like mid-fight.
Yes.
They froze. And Midoriko, when she thaws for just a little bit, you see her. She's got dark hair, just like all the other priestess girlies that I know.
Yep.
Just one thing I noticed.
She does.
And I love her little thing.
Yes. So, Midoriko was known to be beautiful for her time. She was like one of the strongest humans and or priestesses that ever lived. Miyoga is like weird, perverted, curious, right? And he like wants to see a pretty girl and also is trying to give her back the jewel. Like, Miyoga has all these crazy plans all the time. And you know he's not helping because
he ropes Kirara into it.
Yeah, so Kirara pulls him into the cave. He jumps off. He drops the jewel. It awakens all the demons, and then everyone comes running to help. And in the end, he lies to Inuyasha, and he says, I was just here. Kilala brought me here. So when the Shikon no Tama was created, demons started coming for it. And the well protected the Shikon no Tama, but Sango's grandfather didn't think that the cave would hold up much longer if all these demons were constantly trying to pursue it. Like, eventually someone would break into this cave. So Sango's grandpa took the Shikon no Tama 50 years prior to this and entrusted it into the priestess Kikyo's hands, because she was known to purify many different things.
She had a pure soul.
She had a purification
in her hands,
ability.
The jewel wasn't tainted. Inside of the jewel is her soul as well as all the demons as well. Yes. And there's a war going on inside of the jewel. Yes. And that's why it can flip one way or the other depending on who possesses it.
And then we get to the final episode of the season, and we think that this is going to be like I thought it was going to be a cliffhanger. I was actually surprised that it all wrapped up. It was the lake of the evil water god. And it was this snake water god that was an imposter. And they released the real water god, which I thought was really cool. I liked that they were now pulling gods into it. That is something I will say. I liked it. It wasn't necessary, but I feel like it could have been.
I need someone to explain to me why they did what they did for the last episode.
It was a filler episode, but I still love it. I still do love it. I have to.
I just wish they wouldn't have ended with that because it was such a letdown.
Weird, but we do
They're
also
building you up, and then I'm like...
We do also know there's going to be a season 2, though. Like, we knew right away.
And season 3, 4, 5, and 6. I do wish they get a little bit more adult with the themes and motifs, a little bit more heavy.
That would be my next question.
Kill somebody who I like a lot, or do something crazy.
So, like, do you think the plot is going to, like, that's what you would want, is you would want the plot to, like, develop more conflict.
I hope to God that we're not in season 6 still looking for fucking jewel shards. That would suck. They need to like do something here.
How did you feel about the dynamic between Kikyo and Inuyasha? Where like there's this like past lover who's now alive again. We both came out 50 years. Right. Really quick, let's talk about the villains. We have 2 villains this whole series, and it is Naraku and Sesshomaru, Inuyasha's brother. So I think they did a great job with the 2 antagonists. What the heck? Sesshomaru daddy. I loved every single demon I saw. I didn't think one demon that they did come up with, whether it was a filler episode or not, wasn't well thought out. I thought that they were very the story behind them and what they were doing to try to keep these jewel shards or battle Inuyasha, like, it made sense. Do you think Sesshomaru is going to be a villain in future seasons?
No.
Okay. For the animation and the art style, do you think that it added to the story, or do you think that it took away? Was it distracting?
No, I liked it a lot. It was perfect.
Too. I love the watercolor landscapes.
It was perfect.
Oh, and the character, like we've already talked about a lot, like the character designs, like the thought.
They did a great job.
Yep, 100%. Before we give our final rating, we would like you guys to share your rating in the comment. Drop some comments. Let us know what content you liked in this video, what we probably could have left out, because we don't want to have filler episodes like Inuyasha. So, can you give just season 1 your overall rating on a 10-point scale?
8.9.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thank you. What about you?
I'm actually being a little bit more critical, and it kind of hurts. As a child, I would have given this like a 13.
Okay.
It would have broke the scale.
Whoa.
But as an adult, I am realizing the more anime that you and I are watching, I want to feel something. I want to cry. And this makes me laugh. Don't get me wrong. But I want it to, make me laugh. And then when someone's getting hurt, I want to be like, you're going to kill that character off. You're going to kill that character off. And I'm not really on the edge of my seat like I used to be. I fall asleep sometimes. And I have to rewatch episodes. So, I would give it, an 8.0.
Fair.
I don't think it's anywhere
Very
close
fair.
to a 9.
Very fair.
It would be, on the B rank.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She's right there. She's well done. I would suggest this to a friend with a smile on my face. Watch Inuyasha.
Yep.
It's fun. But if there was someone who was just getting into anime, I think this would be a cute one to suggest.
I agree.
Watch Inuyasha.
100%. It's very easygoing. And that's it.
Okay.
That's our conclusion. So did you like it? You like it? We're going to keep watching?
I do. We will keep watching.
Okay. Well, outro time. Okay.
It's almost midnight.
Thank you for watching Kikyo's Unforgiving Anime Podcast. I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Kaitlen.
Bye.
Bye.